In this video, we're looking at 4 strategies that will help you reduce your waste starting today. Things like switching to reusables, making strategic product swaps, composting, and shopping package free when possible. By making small, consistent changes, we can each have a big impact on reducing the amount of waste going to landfills. We want to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. We're big fans of their online professional therapy service, so stay tuned till the end to find out more and get what you need for 10% off your first month. So, zero waste is a sustainable lifestyle that aims to completely eliminate sending personal waste to landfills, and the movement has done an amazing job of raising awareness about the worldwide garbage crisis. But on an individual level, zero waste is a really high bar to aim for, and it's definitely a little intimidating. The good news is, if you look at the numbers, a large number of people making small changes actually have a bigger impact overall than a small number of people making big changes. I'll show you what I mean. As an example, let's say the average person produces 1,000 pounds of waste per year. In hypothetical situation number 1, let's say we have 5,000 super dedicated zero wasters who make massive lifestyle changes and manage to reduce their waste output by 90% each. In total, they would divert 4.5 million pounds of garbage from going to landfills in a year. That's huge. But what about the people who aren't necessarily able or ready to achieve that kind of waste reduction? In hypothetical situation number 2, let's say we have 1 million people who only make small changes and reduce their waste by just 10% each. In total, they would divert 100 million pounds of waste from going to landfills in a year, which is 95 million pounds more than the zero wasters diverted. So the lesson here is that we do need a core community of dedicated zero wasters to do things like sound the alarm, set an example, open package-free stores, and be inspiring leaders. But the bigger impact will happen when millions of us make small, consistent changes. So with that in mind, let's forget about trying to be perfect and look at some waste reduction ideas that could be a good fit for you. Number 1, switch to reusables. Assembling a kit of reusable items will help you avoid single-use disposable products that sneakily make their way into our everyday lives. Some of the most common ones are plastic grocery bags, plastic water bottles, takeout containers, plastic produce bags, and plastic food storage, like sandwich bags and plastic wrap. So here are some ideas for avoiding, reducing, or replacing these items. For plastic grocery bags, you can check if you already have some reusable bags or backpacks lying around at home. You could buy new reusable grocery bags, you could ask for paper bags at the store instead, or you can even reuse the plastic shopping bags that you have for your next shopping trip. For plastic water bottles, you could just drink tap water from a glass, and that'll save you money and reduce plastic. If you're concerned about water quality, you could look into buying a water filter instead of buying bottled water. You could reuse glass or plastic bottles from your recycling bin, but it's best not to reuse plastic bottles too many times, so make sure that you replace the plastic ones often. Or you could buy a new reusable water bottle. For takeout from coffee shops and restaurants, there's a few different things you can do to avoid disposables. First, you could bring your reusable coffee mug or jar with you from home. You can carry a spoon and fork with you to avoid plastic utensils. You can bring a reusable container to pack up your leftovers if you eat out. You can say no to straws when you order drinks or buy reusable ones. There's a lot of options in bamboo, glass, or stainless steel. And you can try to avoid getting takeout from places that use styrofoam containers. For plastic produce bags, the easiest thing is just to skip them altogether and take your produce home unwrapped. If you do need to use them, you could try to only use them for items that need to be kept fresh, like a head of lettuce, and then things like apples can just be left loose. You could make or buy reusable produce bags, or you could rinse and reuse the plastic produce bags. For plastic food storage, an alternative to plastic wrap and single-use bags would be to reuse containers that would otherwise be recycled, like plastic tubs and glass jars. You can also reuse bread bags and other plastic bags. You could try waxed cloth wraps to cover bowls and keep things fresh, or to wrap up snacks, or you could buy reusable food containers. So if you put together a DIY reusables kit, it might look something like this, with lots of items that you found at home. This is actually the best option when you look at it through a zero waste lens, because you're reusing things rather than buying new. Or if you've been customizing your kit to make sure that it works perfectly for you, your reusables kit might look something like this, with new items that perform well and will last for a long time. Regardless of what your kit looks like, the most important thing is remembering to bring it with you. 2, find an alternative product. Now that we've covered some of the more generic sources of garbage, it's time to dig into our own personal waste streams to see if there's any room for improvement there. You can start by having a look in your garbage can and in your recycling bin. What are some of the things you see going in there week after week? Start by choosing the package you see the most often and see if you can come up with a less wasteful alternative. Here are some examples to get you started. Let's say your recycling bin is full of pre-washed salad containers. This is one of the things we personally struggle with. You could try buying a head of lettuce that's unpackaged and washing the leaves in advance so that it's still just as convenient, or you could choose a different vegetable that doesn't come in a plastic container. If your recycling bin is full of plastic drink bottles, which is actually one of the most common things to find in a recycling bin, you could try seeing if your favorite beverage is available in a glass bottle or in an aluminum can instead, since those materials are more likely to be recycled and reused. You could also even see if you can make your own at home in a reusable container. There's no one-size-fits-all solution here because we all have different consumption habits, priorities, budgets, and access to alternatives. It's really just about paying attention to our waste and then checking to see if there's a less wasteful alternative out there. 3. Start composting. If you live in a city or a town that has a municipal composting program, that's a huge opportunity to reduce your waste. So you should definitely try your best to participate in it. If you don't have one where you live yet, consider writing to your representatives to ask them to start a program. If you have a backyard, you could also look into setting up your own compost bin so that you don't have to throw out your scraps anymore. Food scraps and other compostable items take up a massive amount of space in landfills, so they fill up faster. And they also produce methane when they decompose without oxygen, which traps 25 times more heat in the atmosphere than carbon dioxide. Composted organics also create natural soil fertilizers that can be used to grow food. So definitely compost if you can, because keeping organics out of the landfill is literally a win-win-win option. 4. Shop unpackaged. Buying products that aren't packaged in the first place is a great way to avoid waste before you've even brought stuff home. I kept this option for last because depending on where you live, this might not be an option for you, but it's not impossible. To start, lots of regular grocery stores sell unpackaged produce, bread, and deli items, and some stores, even big box stores like Walmart, sometimes have bulk sections for things like nuts, grains, and snacks. So take a peek around your local store to see what unpackaged food options they might have. It's also worth checking to see if there's a bulk store, a zero waste store, or even an online zero waste store that delivers to your area. You might be surprised what's nearby that you didn't know about. We found one that delivers everything to our door, packed in paper bags that can be recycled or in glass jars that we can return, and it's made low-waste grocery shopping a lot easier for us. I know that trying to reduce your waste can feel daunting and that doing things differently can feel awkward at first, so just take it slow and do what you can. The global waste crisis is a big problem, and we're not going to solve it overnight. We're going to have to chip away at it slowly, one reusable bag, cup, and bottle at a time. We want to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. We've actually used their platform to access online therapy over the past couple of years and found it really helpful, so we were pretty excited when they reached out to sponsor one of our videos. What we love about BetterHelp is that it makes it easy to get professional therapy. It's available to clients worldwide, and signing up is quick and simple. You fill out an online questionnaire, and you can start communicating with a licensed therapist in 48 hours. You can schedule weekly phone calls or video sessions, and if you're not happy with the therapist you're matched with, it's easy and free to change therapists. In terms of cost, it's more affordable than traditional therapy, and they also have financial aid available. Plus, if you use our link, which is betterhelp.com/exploringalternatives, that's better HELP, you can also get 10% off your first month. We'll put that link in the description for you so you can check it out. Thanks so much for watching, take good care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next video.